Greetings from the Void. My name is Alpha, and welcome back to Hollow Knight Silksong. This game's been a roller coaster for me. When the difficulty spikes hit, and they hit hard. And I get angry. I get really angry. And I regret that I get angry at those points because eventually when the difficult points pass, right? And then I get to the good parts and the rewarding parts, like last episode. That, if you haven't seen last episode, oh my god, that was the most euphoric moment I've ever had playing a video game. That was closure. That was closure squared. I have never been more at peace than this moment. So if you didn't, so just to recap, we did a little trip down memory lane, Hornet's memories, and we got to see Hornet grow up in Hallownest. And we got to have one final conversation with our mom and the white lady, and we got the flower to repel the. We got the delicate lily to like repel the void, which I guess it does make sense that the Pale King would have access to those like flowers. It does make sense because they were the one fucking with the void. Didn't realize the snail shamans are directly attached to connected to the void, but we figured that out at the end of Act 2. My god. Oh, and we did finish Mr. Mushroom's quest, so yeah, that's probably going to come up to haunt me later. But yeah, as I was saying, once you get past the unreasonably fuck-ass, like, hard segments of the game, and you get to the good parts and or the rewarding parts, they feel oh so good. Like, some of them, they're like, the rewards like, like money or something. Referencing the like very top of the Hunter's March, for example. Reward was just money, and I was like, oh man, the salt is sticking with me for like hours on end after that event. I think the game could have gone easy on players. Don't get me wrong. I still think that. I think these difficulty spikes are a little too difficult. But this was meant to be a DLC to Hollow Knight, so this game expects you to have played Hollow Knight at that point, and I know that. I've talked about that at the end of after I defeated Grandmother Silk for the first time. Like we've had this conversation before. So I get that this is not a sequel to Hollow Knight. This is like a DLC to Hollow Knight. Just happened to be as long as a full-length game. So kind of became a sequel to Hollow Knight with the difficulty of like a DLC. I don't know. I just feel like they could have like toned down the difficulty of some of these things. I do like the common enemies, you know. And regrettably, I'll say Seth as well as a mini boss. He's kind of fine too, even though he was one of those difficulty spikes that made me very angry. I don't think I need to tell you guys that. But I don't know, that like they could have toned down the difficulty for this, because I'm worried. One of my worries is the Hollow Knight players are going to come back to this game and they're not going to be able to finish it. I had to look up where the hearts were to actually make progress on Act 3. Some of these hidden walls are so hidden, it's like insane. Like, I think the one thing that I've said while I was frustrated that I actually do agree with is Team Jerry seems to really not want you to finish their game. They really don't want you to finish Silksong because, wow, that was the main quest. And the Mr. Mushroom side quest was more legible with its clues than that was. Like, I'm gonna like, I can't just not give people shit for that, right? Like that. I couldn't, like, I looked everywhere. I could not figure that out for the life of me. You'd have to pay like insane levels of attention, but not even that, because not even that, because the frickin' what was the creature's name? The last dive into the void and cut Farloom free. Not even that. What was the creature's name? Also, we're not even done with the journal. That's insane. Yeah, Nihilith. Finding Nihilith was like damn near impossible. I looked everywhere for that, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I actually looked up the answer to that. Anyway, I believe I've made my point. So now, we've returned from our memory. The snail shamans appear to be very dead, which is concerning. But you know what else is more concerning than that? Because I still need to finish the journal, right? I still need to finish this. I need to kill one more of these moss grubs in the memoriam. But how many is missing? Let's see. We have one between the craws and the bile water residence. That's okay. We have 2 weird enemies that I'm missing. Okay. That could be problematic. We're missing an enemy somewhere over here. Okay, kind of an issue. That's fine. But then we get past the plasmium enemies, and there's a whole group of 10 that are missing. Oh. Wing molds! Oh my god! I didn't realize I got a freaking entry for that. Wing mold. False fly with a rune-etched shell. A tortured mix of soul and void is caged within. A crude construct of my father's fallen domain. Only a fool believes that void can be fashioned to do their bidding. Well, the Pale King was a fool. Oh my god. That's awesome. Okay, but there are like 10 more enemies missing here. Maybe they're void enemies? Because I don't know where else to go. Except down, down, down. That's insane. Well. I need to explore more of Farloom real quick. Remain, you have some great task ahead of you, do you not? If so, then I fear the time of our final parting draws near. You sense it true, Shrema. I shall soon descend to the darkness below the kingdom and quell the source of Farloom's rending. If that task is achieved, my future may take me far from Farloom. But know I have faith that you will hold these bugs together and see them prosper. In truth, I'm still only a fool, but I'll hold dearly to your faith in me. That warmth will help me to endure whatever challenges lie ahead. Now let me pray for you, dear friend, and may my hopes follow you in the deepest darkness and beyond. Let's keep our spirits strong. Our bond is unbroken. Brothers, sisters. Main strong, wreathed in red. Shield her shell, bless her thread. She fights for us until the end. Please protect my dearest friend. Explain any questions I have on them. I don't really think it's worth going all the way over there. We're at the climax of the game. President, what a marvel you are, continuing to dare the wilds and darkness and return home to us unscathed. I return with hope worth sharing, Pavo. I've seen a way to calm this chaos. One I now work swiftly towards. The chance remains slim, but if this town can hold, and my efforts succeed, Varlum may see a future yet. Soon, Pavo, I shall calm the chaos. Please guard these bugs safe till then. Of course, dear resident, of course. No, all our faith and our wishes go to with you. The time is close, Chakra. The cost was grave, and the challenge steep. But I have claimed a power that can put an end to this disaster. Genda. This is good, hornet-wielding needle. Essential. My own strength has near reached its limit, and the dark husks continue their assault unceasing. Take your final action, and let us all see the end of this. Hang in there, Chakra. Boy, who's that? Whoever's down there, if you're feeling mad enough to try and travel, best meet me up at the controls and we can chat. Miss, Hulo, I see you've survived somehow. Thought that last plunge might have been your end. It was not. I survived the fall and managed a treacherous return. For the diving bell's failure, the risks were clear to me. The fault lies not with you. Aye, as you say, this bell's old, and time has a way of breaking things even as fine forged as this. And see below, for its failure, I've been working hard at improving the design. Your last journey ended up being a valuable test. Good. That return path is long close to me, and your bell is now needed once again. Again? Well, if you're game enough to try a second time, a shell's shield has been fitted, and the bell's like new. Better than new. If you're planning another descent, head down, holler, and I'll get you going. Yep, I certainly am. Okay. Alright. Alright, shit. Oh, when you're ready, miss, the upgrades are done. That bell's as raised as it'll ever be. Hit it. Yeah, no need for a cutscene that time. That's fair. A creature long familiar to me. I suspect that no matter how far I travel, if I descend deep enough, they will always be there. We're approaching it. I want the gun. And I want the plasmium. We're going all Hallownest style in this. Child, I hold the means to descend. Let us meet one final time, and quell this black ruin of our making. Who are you hoping you'll find down there, Spider? An ailing child? And a silk-starved beast? If so, I'm afraid we may sorely disappoint. What waits below is me no longer.
Nesvia?
Even if only your shadow remains, to release your mother's grip, my blade would see it slain. Then why hold, even this moment? Surely terror hasn't suddenly claimed your hardened heart. Take the final plunge, Spider. Join us in my drowning place. Join us in my drowning palace. And let oblivion swallow us all.
Yanara.
Oblivion may take you, child. My own life... Hold up, I'm gonna wait for that. Oblivion may take you, child. My own life, I shall not sacrifice. I have survived the fury of your land. I have borne its barbs and its blades, and I have seen wonder behind its dangers.
That's fine.
But always, child, I remain a daughter of Hallownest, and the void below all things, that darkness I will fear no longer. Let's go. Oh, where am I?
Kestra.
What the shit am I looking at? Oh, it's Grandmother Silk. Oh, not again. you really think we would go through this game without fighting Lace one last time? Well, I sure as hell didn't, but here we are. So, Lost Lace, otherwise known as Lace 3. Okay, so we remember my spiel about Lace 2, right? Well, somehow they found a way to make it worse. As with, per usual, when it comes to Hollow Knight, the true ending boss is normally a huge challenge, like a really, really big challenge. It's not going to be a pushover like Grandmother Silk. This fight has hands. It has hands on top of hands. So, what makes this thing worse? Well, Lost Lace here has the reaction time of a computer. Okay, so this is gonna be a stretch, but hear me out, alright? Ever played the older updates of Minecraft when the Minecraft skeletons have aimbot? Kind of like that. So, it didn't look like that the first time I fought Lost Lace, but trust me, you just have to experience this for yourself to understand how terrible this is to fight against. Because, I swear to goodness, Lost Lace can read your button inputs and then react accordingly. Everything you do, she tries to perform a counter action to your actions. She reads your button inputs and reacts accordingly. Don't believe me? Watch. That was a good fight. Okay, unfortunately, that's not gonna this isn't gonna cut it. Alright, let's be more optimal here. You were on the ground a lot. We're gonna abuse some of that. I didn't use magic all that much. I did heal a lot though, so we're gonna put that on. Oh, damn it, I thought I would get out of that. Okay. Wow. Okay. Again, I've not been using my tools, so that's fair. My God. Wow, okay. Flawless clean sweep. Congratulations, you flawlessed me. I am proud of you? Question mark? Alright, I'll actually fight the boss. There we go. Come on. I'm better than this. I should be using my tools, but I want to learn to fight. I should be using my tools, but I want to learn to fight. See, this is all it takes for me to not get frustrated at a game. Give me a reason to fight. Let's go. Oh my god. Yeah, definitely don't fight this. Well, I guess you have to fight this thing in fucking, Steel Heart. My god. This is, you know... This is a fantastic game and all, but, like... It's stuff like that that makes me just never want to, like, attempt that shit. Like, I'm crazy enough to do a lot of, like, hard shit, but this is, like, a step a little too far. Alright, come on. Yep, see, because it predicts the frickin' boss fight predicts where I am based on my button inputs. It's keylogging me. See, it wouldn't have jumped up there if I didn't move up and then press the A button. It would have done a different kind of attack. See, it knows from my button inputs. See, now you'll be up there, and then you'll be over here. There is an hour and a half left of the video's runtime unedited as of this current point of the video. Did I mention that we've only seen phase 1 of this boss fight? Yeah, I'm gonna try to speed this up. Oh my god, she's doing it. Okay. I'm gonna be real, this fight's pretty strong, but it's not as strong as your last fight, where you just killed me as soon as I, like, existed. Wait, that was it? Wow, I got really close to beating you, actually. Okay. Of course. Now I have to deal with you, don't I? Oh my god! Oh my god. Just... Thank you. Come on, come on, come in. Wow. Run into. You will kill me. We're not done until this game's finished. You could have ended the fight at phase 2. You didn't need to go this hard. clockwise. I don't know how I have 4 of them, but that's cool. The cap was at 3. Did I do it as the frickin' base was transitioning and got like a 4th one? Or can I have always spawned 4? It doesn't matter. Oh my god. Got you! Die, die. Come on. Oh. Do I really want to save this person? Do I? Whatever. Sure.
Kestra.
Oh. Uh-oh. No. Oh. Oh my god! Galahad! Little buddy! You're still there! After all this time! Thank you, little ghost. Oh, I'm crying. He came back for me. Sister of the Void. Now, ain't that an achievement? That's achievement I can be proud of. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh, Team Cherry. Okay. I have some feelings I want to get out before the excitement of seeing Little Ghost again overwhelms me and I start like gushing about that. So, time for me to give my true and final soulful testimony on Hollow Knight Silksong. For a game that people waited 7 years for, it was worth the wait. Let's get that out of the way right off the bat. The soundtrack is going to carry me throughout the years to come. Like, I don't know if it's going to be any more iconic than the original Hollow Knight soundtrack, but some of the songs like Cogwork Core and the Choral Chambers, those specifically stuck with me. So they made some banger tracks. Oh man. Now, I have some criticisms about the way they did the difficulty of this game. Alright. First off, I understand that this whole game was originally intended to be a DLC to Hollow Knight, and that's why the game is as hard as it is. I get that. I got that from Marsum. He had to explain that shit for me when I was at my lowest with this game. I get that. However, if it became as long, oh wow, 2,158 Kickstarter backers. And Seth Goldman, is that why that mini boss was named Seth? Fuck you, Seth. Anyway, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't. I'm kidding. That was a joke. Oh wait. Oh. Through the darkness and dangers you persevered. Thank you for exploring the world of Hollow Knight Silksong. Let's meet again on the road ahead. Yeah, I'll see what you guys do to Crowsworn, which yeah, I currently hold a world record on right now, which is fantastic. Beating this game is an achievement on its own. Like, I felt like playing through that whole game again, I felt like I just beat the Pantheon of Hallownest all over again. That's how hard this game was. In fact, it was harder than that, actually. Much harder. This is by far the second hardest game I played. First hardest being GTFO. But that game's meant to be hard. Alright. That game's meant to be, like, unforgiving as hell. But, like, for Team Cherry to go as hard as they did with the difficulty, back to my criticism, I understand why the game is as hard as it is. Alright. It was meant to be a DLC, so obviously they had to ramp up the difficulty because you're probably a master at Hollow Knight at this point, right? Which, I get it, alright? But it became so long, it became a full-length game, right? But people are going to see this game as a sequel to Hollow Knight. Despite how you, like, viewed it as originally a DLC to Hollow Knight, if it has its own Steam page, if it has its own thing, people are going to see this as a sequel. And playing through this whole thing from start to finish, 100% completion, this really does feel like a sequel, especially with an ending like that. Which, I will gush about that in a moment. Just let me get this out of the way. For starters, heavy damage being introduced way back all the way into area 2 of the game, right? Like right off the bat, after you get out after you run past like the first bench or something in the game at Bone Bottom, to have heavy damage introduced that early was a big warning sign for me going through this game. I still gave it the benefit of the doubt that okay, it's still Hollow Knight, right? This game did not feel like a Hollow Knight, except for the moments where we actually like touched on Hornet's like past and closure with the White Lady and stuff like that, or the second coming of the Void, which obviously once I saw that reignited my excitement for this game again. This game's an amazing game, but my criticism is you made the game too hard. I'm going to say it. I've heard that this game has had a lot of patches. I started the game before they had I started the game like relatively late into the game's like after release. Like I already mentioned, Marsman had already beaten the game, and it was like 8-hour like gameplay and stuff. I mentioned that I think in episode 1, and I wanted this series to last and make it last. I did. It's currently December right now for me. We're not close to Christmas yet, but it's like, yeah, I wanted this game to last me a few months, and I'm glad I did that because oh god, I needed those months. You went too hard with the difficulty. Like some of these some of these fights that you did, like I like how gimmicky you made the smaller enemies, even the annoying enemies and the putrid ducks. All right, god damn it, that felt like Primal Aspid 2. All right, I'd keep those because those are well designed. The AI was amazing. They felt way more complex than like Hollow Knight enemies, where the Hollow Knight enemies are just more passive, unless you get to talk about enemies like in the City of Tears and stuff. They felt more passive. They felt, more, alive and less zombie-like, until you get to the ones like possessed by the haunting, and like the pilgrims and stuff. Like it actually felt like alive in a sense, and I liked that. And I liked how that was reflected in the boss fights. I truly do. However, some of these boss fights, you went a little too hard. The sheer speed in which Hornet dies when entering a boss room, despite being, like, even if you're skilled at the boss fight, right? Even if you're good at the boss fight at that point, the sheer speed in which you could die does not justify, like, it does not justify, like, a Steel Heart run. Hell, Steel Soul might as well be this game's version of the Pantheon of Hallownest, alright? That is my personal belief, because this game is just that hard, alright? My advice for a DLC in this game, like, if you want to add a boss rush, like, DLC, like God Home, or like, where you can just refight the bosses over and over again, go ahead, but don't tie an ending to it. People did not like that before in the original Hollow Knight, and I'm pretty sure people are going to be, like, just as upset to see that again. And I get it, because to lock an ending, much less after watching that ending right now, which, by the way, I am going to gush about this. The ending I got, in my mind, is the true ending. And for Hollow Knight, by the way. So, to lock the true ending of the game behind Godhome DLC. I can imagine a lot of Hollow Knight fans who are not particularly great with, like boss rushes were pretty displeased, right? To find, like, they might be even more displeased after, like, seeing this true ending, if they can even make it past Lost Lace. That was, I will have to say, Lost Lace might just be the hardest boss fight in the game. That was, like, Radiance doesn't, the Radiance was a pretty hard boss fight for a lot of my friends who played Hollow Knight, and probably for a lot of you guys as well. But Radiance was okay with me because I just had to play careful. No matter how careful I was with Lost Lace, I had to use my tools, spam. I could not focus on fighting one-on-one hand-to-hand combat with Lace. That's how difficult that was. I could not engage the fight. Engaging the fight was way too risky. No matter how careful I was, the sheer speed in which you can die is just... It feels like the tools are doing more of the fight than the player itself. And that's my gripe with the frickin' difficulty of this game. It needs to be toned down a little so that, like... So that, you feel like you're doing more things, like, casting more of your silk skills, or slashing with your nail, Like, Lost Lace, for example, had, like, almost no vulnerability windows, so I had to, like, I had to do hit and run tactics and get whatever damage I couldn't get in. I was, like, fighting for scraps. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. Of course, that's just my opinion, though. My opinion does not reflect the Hollow Knight community or everyone else's opinions of this game. I will say I like the game, though. This game is fantastic. I'll play it again and again on my own time, and this game will stick with me for years on end. All right, it'll get me through the wait for Crowsworn. But oh god. My advice for any DLC you add to this game, which I know there's DLC, people have talked about this, that there's going to be DLC planned for Silksong, so get ready for that. I can't wait to see what you guys have planned over at Team Cherry. I apologize for any angry outbursts that I leave in on the Let's Play during the difficulty spike moments of this game. Honestly, let's be real here. I got really frustrated. All right, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like Lost Lace did not deserve to do double damage, like all the time. Like, too many bosses, too much everything in this game does double damage, right? And looking at some shorts that people have made about Hollow Knight Silksong, trying to avoid spoilers as much as I could, looking at the shorts, I know I'm not the only one who's complained about this. I know for a fact I'm not the only one who's questioning, why does that do 2 masks of damage, right? Everything does 2 masks of damage in this game. That's why I kept, like, making a joke about every time I got, like, a mask shard. It's like, I effectively have 4 HP when I actually have 8 masks on my health bar, because that's it. Every 2 masks is 1 HP in this game. It might as well be. Like, what's the point, right? What's the point of getting a mask shard unless you have like 7 other shards? You don't actually get a hit point until you get 8 of those mask shards. You need 2 masks for effectively 1 HP. It just doesn't feel rewarding when you make everything do heavy damage. I feel like the difficulty needs to be toned down, and I know I remember where I was. The patches of this game. There's been a lot of nerfs to a lot of bosses, apparently, to the point. So at the state that I've played this game right now is after all those nerfs. So everything I fought up to this point was after the nerfs and the buffs. I'm pretty sure they buffed some things. Specifically something about like one of Hornet's silk skills. I think I mentioned in one episode or another, or maybe I've cut that out in editing. I don't know. I haven't like edited a whole lot of the episodes yet, so I'm just putting my thought there just in case that's lost somehow. So I am at a moderately complete state of the game right now that I just played. There might be I say moderately because there might be patches later on after I upload this video. Sorry, I gotta get to the point. Like, I don't know. The sheer speed in which you die is crazy to me. Back to but now we will talk about the good part. Holy shit. This was worth the wait. The game felt fun. I loved, like, I think I talked about this at the end of Act 2. I love the crest system. The crest system is so unique. There's like, how many crests are there? 7. There are 7 crests in the game, and they all change Hornet's, like, playstyle and gameplay. Her entire moveset is different with each crest. Different healing, different charged attacks, different down airs. Everything is different with the crests. Hell, the Shaman crest gave me shockwaves. That was awesome. I was almost tempted to use that against Lost Laced, but I didn't want to be without my tools, because the tools do a lot of damage in this game, and they fight all the bosses for you, which is kind of a gripe for me, but you know, it's whatever. But yeah. But this was closure. I don't know, like, it opened some doors, not a lot of doors, for, like, you know, going back to Holland. We barely went back to Hallownest to, like, clarify some lore that, you know, we may have overlooked in Hallownest. I mean, Mossbag's probably got, like, most of the lore of Hallownest, like, down pat, so it probably doesn't even matter to begin with. But I loved watching Hornet, like, the little Hornet grow up, learn how to craft, fight, and her last conversation with her mom before the Dreamer thing. And it's like, the feel of Silksong in comparison to the Knight. The Knight is passive, you know, like, no mind to think, no will to break, and all that. But Hornet is agile, acrobatic, hot-headed. Like, that trait's still, like, the same. Hot-headed in a sense. Hornet is, like, alive in a sense. Has more personality to them. The Knight, however, is more impressionable. He's basically, you know, impressionable upon the player. So that's the beauty of the Knight. You can put a personality into the Knight, and anything will work. But wow, like, Hornet's moveset, like the acrobat jumping and stuff, and the like needle like skills, it felt like playing Ori and the Blind Forest in its late game after like a decade. After a decade of not touching the game. That's what it felt like. And that's kind of why I like Hornet's moveset a lot better than the Knight's. Like it felt more like fluid in a sense. The Knight is like has a basic moveset. It's simple as that. So not the shit on my boy Galahad, but like that's just my honest opinion. Hornet's got movement beat when it comes to the Knight. But wow, the characters in this game are like completely lovable too. Sharma is probably one of my favorites, but like Sharma is one of my favorite characters. Don't get me wrong, but man, Garmin and Zaza, poor guy. I'm reminiscing about the characters now. Jesus Christ, like these characters were memorable too. They actually like there are some characters in frickin' Holonest right now that I don't remember their names. Like I don't remember the name of the guy that you sell like lore to in the City of Tears. There's a lot of forgettable faces in Halonest, but some of the characters in frickin' Silksong have like a charm to them. Specifically Sharma and the Flea Master and all that. So it really worked into this game's charm. A nice reprieve from getting your ass fucking blasted by Team Cherry's like, frickin' Savage Beastfly boss. Oh god. I'm glad I'm not alone on my hatred for Savage Beastfly. Oh my god. I looked at some of these shorts that you guys were making of Silksong. A lot of you hate Savage Beastfly, and I share your hatred. That's like, ooh, that boss sucks. I'm glad that I'm not alone in that. But no, like, I love the crest system. I love the characters. But most importantly of all, I love how you did the grub system in this game. The grubs, right? The grubs quests. You see, the fleas in this game, they're so adorable. They are adorable. I love them, and they, like, I want to see more of them. I truly do. I want to see more of them. I want to see more of the fleas. They were definitely, like, it's still the same system as the grubs, don't get me wrong, but I was motivated to find every single, like, flea. Like, I would go out of my way to find all of them the moment I heard, like, the whimpers and stuff. I had, like, a protective instinct kick in whenever I heard that sound. I just can't get over how good the fleas are. I was almost heartbroken. Screw you, by the way. I was almost heartbroken by Act 3 when I got to the Flea Master and he was like all tragic and there was not a he was all sad and shit and there was not a flea in sight. It was just void and devastation. And I was like, no, they're not all dead, right? Screw you for that, like, moment of emotional distress. Alright? God damn. If you were about to grubfather me on the fleas, I would have been so mad. Ah, God. I would have forgiven you, though. One final thing I need to leave uh, is I need to gush about that ending. I need to gush about the ending to Hollow Knight Silksong, the ending I just got. Because, oh boy, there's a lot to unpack. So, for a moment you had me scared there in that final cutscene. I don't know what, like, after like the second fight with Lace near the end of Act 2, suddenly we become frenemies. And I don't understand how that happened. Like, just from mere mutual understanding of what Lace is, Lace decides to not stand in our way. I don't understand Lace's motivation. That's what I don't understand. If I understood Lace's motivation, then maybe I'd be more okay with, like, going out of our way to save Lace from the void and stuff like that. I don't know. I honestly shouldn't think too much on it. Like, Lace doesn't deserve to suffer the fate of the void. None of these bugs do. Like, Hornet is like Hornet definitely played the role of the savior here in Farloom, and I thought that was amazing to see. So yeah, just a slight confusion when we just went to go rescue Lace, right? And Grandmother Silk helping us out. But enough about Lace, right? Because on the return trip, watching that flower disappear, because the delicate flower, we all know that thing explodes in one hit. It's a fragile fucking flower, right? So obviously, when that died, I just knew they were fucked. All right, and that's where the game. I was scared for a moment that that's where the game was going to end, where Hornet and Lace's fate are left to unknown to probably very dead. I was a little scared that the game was going to end there, but it didn't. Instead, ended in the best way I could have possibly imagined: a reunion. Seeing Little Ghost, or I like to call him Galahad, because I gave him an impressionable name because he didn't have a name. Like, seeing Little Ghost again, because that's, or the Knight, or whatever you guys want to call him, right? That was the most beautiful way to connect the dots between Hollow Knight and this game. That was the most beautiful reunion between the two characters after God Home DLC ending. I'm proud that I got the true ending to Hollow Knight before playing this game. I'm kind of proud of that. I do have a bit of pride on that. That's awesome. I feel like I got the full Hollow Knight experience doing that. But But that felt like a true ending. Seeing, like, Little Ghost again, and the flashes to the Shade Lord as well when looking upon Little Ghost further solidifies my excitement. We have the cosmic god-eating god saving Hornet from the void. Like, the void definitely has like a mind of its own. It tried to attack Hornet and Lace, but Little Ghost came and saved them both. Not only that, it happened for a brief moment, but all the eyes behind Little Ghost, all the vessels, they all united. to save Hornet and Lace. No words were exchanged. There didn't need to be. It was unnecessary. The fact that Little Ghost is still out there, still cognizant of what's going on around him, like, come on. There's even an ending in Hollow Knight where you give like the God Home person like a delicate flower, so when you corrupt everything to the void, it doesn't fuck over the kingdom of Hallownest. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess Hornet. I guess for a freaking vessel that can feel nothing, no mind to think and shit like that, right? He still had. He still is capable of compassion. He did not wish to destroy Hallownest, and that's why they did that. And it's even more evident when they went to go rescue their sibling from the void. Seeing that play out was the most tear-jerking moment in this goddamn game. And you could not recreate that. You could not make that any better. You could not make a better ending. Is what I'm saying. There cannot possibly be a better ending than that one. So that's it. That's all I have for Hollow Knight Silksong. Pretty hard game. I will admit, if I see a fucking Pantheon of Farloom, I will be a little upset. I will cry a little bit, but I will cry a little bit and like, oh god, because that's going to be pain to like mess with, especially if they put like an ending or something to at the end of it. I really don't want them to put like an ending or a reward. Just make it a fun, goofy thing that you can do. You know. But yeah, that was Hollow Knight Silksong. Really fun game. And now that I've done the perfect Let's Play with no interruptions, I can play this on my own time now. Anytime I want. And I can look up lore now, because I've beaten the game. The true reward. I can watch the Mossbag video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe and be part of the Alpha Force today. Well, actually, wait. Hold on, before I do that. We gotta see this. 77 hours. $80-hour game indeed. I'm going to screenshot that. What's my tile card look like? Yeah. I should have been giving my soul testimony on this game, but the wind probably would have gotten in the way. Oh! That blade is laces. Well, they're all the same pin, so I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known until I realized, oh wait, that's the ending. Well, either way. Wow. Well, thank you all for sticking with me. I'll see you guys in whatever I do next. I'll be definitely playing whatever Team Cherry makes next. It's probably going to be Crowsworn, with Leth and everyone working on that. God, I feel like this game should be a perfect example of what all games should be released as. Released as a finished product. Don't release games just to meet a deadline and shit. Like, actually release a finished game. Hollow Knight Silksong should be an example of what a game should release as. A stable, complete game. But, yeah. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to become part of the AlphaForce today. And I'll see you in whatever I do next. Farewell, everyone. And goodbye.